do I know that Kava, which I'm invested in, won't be the next Krispy Kreme? How do I know that it won't go to zero? I don't. But it doesn't really matter because I use something called risk management. Popping in over here now, I have a new policy, and the policy is to help set some boundaries. So if you're not following me, I'm not going to respond. So if you DM me or ask a question and you don't get an answer, you know why. So the mistake a lot of new investors make is they look at a company like Kava or anything that's new and exciting, and they think, oh my God, if it goes to this price, if it goes to that price, I'm going to make so much money. Not me. What I do is I look at a company like Kava and I go, I love this restaurant. I eat there all the time. I would like to own some of this company, but how much am I willing to lose? Because I could be wrong. The company might end up sucking in a couple of years. They might go downhill, mismanagement, people get tired of it. There's a recession. It could be 1,000 different things that go wrong with the company. And I don't know. So what am I willing to lose? And once I have that number in my mind of how much I'm willing to lose, I don't give a shit. Go to zero. I'm not going to be up at night crying because I didn't mortgage my house or get a second mortgage on my house to buy the stock. You know what I mean? I put in what I was willing to lose. So if it drops to zero, it drops to zero, and I'll hold it forever. Because things could go like this for a 20-year period. Maybe it drops to $7 in the next few years. Whatever. I'm not going to panic and sell it because I only put in what I was willing to lose. The second part of your comment was how much do you decide percentage-wise what to put into individual stocks versus ETFs? It's going to be different for every investor based on their goals, their risk tolerance, and how much money they have. You might look at your portfolio and say, I don't really have enough money to go big and buy lots of individual companies with large positions in those companies. So I'm going to go heaviest in the ETFs, maybe 60% ETFs, 70, 80% ETFs, and 20% stocks or 5% stocks, depending on what the stocks are. If they're super high risk, maybe only 5%. If they're higher quality, maybe a larger percent. But the thing is, you have to buy large positions in these companies for it to be worthwhile. If you have one share in Apple and one share in Nvidia and one share in Netflix and one share in Procter & Gamble, it's not going to really matter. No matter what those stocks do over the long term, it's not going to matter. So the real question is how much work and effort do you want to put into, buying 10, 15 individual companies, and can you afford to? And if you can't, then ETFs are a fantastic option in place of individual stuff. For me, I'm almost, except for my Roth IRA, my whole portfolio is individual stocks. That's just the way I've always done it. I'm more comfortable with that. I like doing that. I like picking the individual stocks. But it's going to be different for every investor.